So we got a bit of a break after the incident at the school, and we got to catch up with our boy GUEL, and we also got to see what the resistance have been doing. After seeing GUEL and with him wanting to take up the mantle, whatever the mantle is, whether he is going to continue with the Jaturt company, you know, to try to keep his father's legacy or something, you know, just to keep that bond between him and his dad instead of letting that be severed. I can't help but think how funny it was for Lauda to make that announcement where he was going to become the official CEO, and then the story was just like, hold on, Lauda, hold on, this is supposed to be GUEL's stuff? So then they just backhanded him. And they backhanded him so hard, he's in the hospital right now. It's so funny. Oh, dude. But it seems like I accidentally read a bit of the summary, like the first line of the episode summary of Crunchyroll. I don't know why, it's like my eyes always gravitate towards it, and I'm like, damn, I accidentally read it, but I assume we're gotta go back to the school and we're gonna see the aftermath, especially after the whole death of that girl whose name I've just forgotten. Sophie. There you go. After her death, we'll see what's going on. And also, thank you to the people in the comments who explained to me what permit was again, because once they told me that permit was a material that lets them connect to the data storm, that gave me the reminder that, yeah, I did remember it, but it's been so long that I've just forgotten about it. But it did give me the chance to just go back through my notes and actually looking at the stuff that I've written. So I am slightly refreshed up to episode 6 anyways, because for some reason I decided to stop reading notes after episode 6. So like everything after that, But if you guys haven't seen my reaction or discussions to the previous episodes, I recommend you do. I have the playlist down in the description. And if you enjoy the content, remember to give the video a like and subscribe if you haven't. And if you didn't like the content, dislike the video and we'll be on our way. Let's get started. Just in case we've forgotten. It's been 2 weeks after all. It's kind of understandable, that's why when she uses the permit stuff, you don't see the lines that you often would on Suletta. I couldn't believe my eyes at first. Ooh, we're continuing. Ah, that was from the prologue, yeah. Her child's body. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you just combine with the Lefrith. Score of 8? Damn, dude, she's really going mask off. Oh, you're gonna have to die here now. Then you make enhanced humans. The pasta lady. I don't know why I saw that. The first thing I thought. Yeah, we're all going to hell, so might as well bring it over to everybody else, huh? Okay, so well, at least we've learned now why she's deciding that she wants to hit a higher permit level. I'll have to look at it at the beginning again, but like they're talking about how like she converted her. It's like she's nothing but permit, whatever the thing is again. When you die, you don't go to heaven. You just get turned into data. Terrorism. Donna Foe, that's the name of the resistance. Sorry, the rebel, the terrorists. Oh, it's Lauda. Hey, yo, dude. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Shaddiq, you got all your harems. Can't be aiming for one girl specifically. Oh. Too bad for you. Oh shit. You can't take Choo-Choo's ready to fight. Oh shit, it's more... Damn, dude. Yeah, that's right! This boy's actually standing up. Well, I mean, that wasn't them. Oh man, Jubeju. So sad. Again, yes, I'm gonna need to get some fucking necromancy shit. Oh, Miorine's back. Damn, dude, she's got the video. She's even more injured than ever. Yeah, it's become part of Shaddiq's harem. Maybe they'll tell us why they're so following of Shaddiq. So what? His harem is consisting of Earth girls? Nah, we just need Ariel. Dueling game is over. Oh my god. What? If you want to live. It's cool! Oh? Hello. He got so excited. And now he's back in the hospital. Hell yeah, dude. It's a lot of stress after he's got his injury and everything. I was at first-hand experience. Damn, dude. Oh, my boy, Ghoul. How did he get here so fast? From Earth! Who? Favor for favor. Is this that crazy lady? I can't currently remember. Pale Tech! Pale Tech. No. Okay, it's her. I literally cannot differentiate names right now. I don't know why she would have talked to Pale Tech. I don't know why. But again, the voice are just... Mm-hmm. Thanks. Hell yeah. Now that you're back, let's get to fucking work. Oh? Prospera is here. Oh. Of course, if Miorine's out, then... I'm also here to see Ariel. Ariel's gonna be like, the fuck are you doing? Ariel's even more, like, sentient than last time. We're actually hearing her voice, huh? Ooh. Oh, shit! So essentially this is what number 4 had seen, but... Oh, it's Belmeria. Damn, you know, I was just thinking he was gonna fucking punch her right in the face. Oh, shit! Wait, report her for what? For not helping. I mean, it is still low. I mean, it was an... I mean, it was an understandable response. You saw a man get turned into soup. It's just like what Mom said. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. But you took a man's life. Hell yeah, dude. That man got turned into tomatoes. Oh. Yeah, but... But, you'd still do it? Alright, so you do anything she says. Oh, through a red and... Asking the real questions out here. Yes. Yes. I mean, I don't think you should commit murder because your mom took you to school. Oh, she's Don't worry, your mom will be here to tell you that she'll come to an understanding. Oh, she's so upset. She's a good little girl. Oh, because she doesn't know about the she doesn't know about the prologue. Not the pasta lady. Rajan, is that the... What? Okay, she was born after that whole situation, alright? Why you gotta bring the kids? You need to take over, okay. Damn, dude, she's gonna fight GUEL in the position for president? I don't know how GUEL's doing, actually. Oh, look at that fucking utter manipulation that is going on right now with fucking Prospera, bro. You're a part of this too, Miorine, because of what your dad did. Even though you were born after that whole fucking fact, and you didn't even know about this whole situation, you know, but you gotta avenge for the stuff that your family did or something, I don't know. Precious things. Okay. Alright. Wow. Very nice. That's a really nice picture. I really like that one. Okay. I have so many timestamps. So many times. Alright, well, I guess I'll go write my notes then. We will be right back to the center. Okay, so with this whole talk of like biometric code and like the data storm, right? And with Belmeria going and saying, oh, you used the data storm's network to transfer her biometric code. Is that it? And I was... When they were first saying this, all I could think of was fucking Digimon tamers, right? And it's just getting, this whole feeling that I'm having of Digimon tamer is getting stronger and stronger because it's so funny where, like, You know, the fucking tamers go into the digital world and they get turned into data, essentially. And that's why they're able to fuse, you know, they're able to morph with their Digimon. and towards, like, the finale, you know, when they're outside of the digital world, so, like, the humans aren't data anymore, they're actually flesh and bones and everything. One of the Digimon sacrifices themselves, sorry for all the Digimon tamer spoilers, but one of the Digimon sacrifices themselves to essentially not turn the humans into data, but it's kind of like that, where they turn it into data, and then because of that, the tamers are able to go and morph with their Digimon despite not being in the digital world, you know? So essentially the humans had become data as well, and so now they're able to morph with each other in the real world, or in the human world, not the real world, in the human world. It's that's honestly, me thinking of it like that is, like, really the only way I'm able to grasp what the fuck is going on with this situation. But, you know, instead of morphing or graphing, fusing humans to Digimon, it's literally just a Prospera fusing a human into a Gundam. Okay, so with the idea of getting the permit score up to 8, and if they can expand the range of the data storm through Quiet Zero, which I don't think have they explained what Quiet Zero is yet at this point, other than them just trying to increase the permit score? But if those two are met, then Eri can live in freedom, which I assume because before, you know, Eri's nothing more than permit particles and would disintegrate in physical space if she's not using Eri as her body. But if these two things are met, then Eri can live in freedom, which means that she can physically exists in the physical space because the data storm is there? Look, I'm going back to my whole Digimon stuff, right? So, like, Eri's a Digimon at this point. And you know what Digimons can do? I mean, if you watch Digimon, but you know what Digimons can do? They can fucking go in between the networks, you know, the datas and everything, and especially if we're talking about, like, certain aspects of, like, Digimon World, maybe, like, Digimon Saber or something. Or even, like, the game Digimon Cyber Sleuth, right? Where Digimons are living in the cyber network, and they're able to... Or even, like, one of the Digimon movies that I currently can't remember that is similar to Summer Wars. You know, where the Digimons are able to overtake other people's networks, or, like, you know, they can live in your phone and all that, right? That's what I'm thinking. You know, if Eri's able to just move from Ariel, and she's able to just go into other people's devices, I assume that, or again, as she says, Eri can live in freedom, as Prospera says. So, like, she can just detach herself from Ariel and just be like, alright, I'm a fucking cyber god now. I like that, Lauda is just like, what is Cathedra doing? Why aren't they able to fucking solve this? And fucking Peltek is just like, well, weren't you there? At the fucking attack of the school? Fucking scrub, you got wiped out within the first wave. But at the same time, we've kind of learned that in Cathedra, or at the very least, the people in the previous episode, right? The big chubby man who's it's part of the Minicus, I think that's what it is, which is part of Cathedra, right? Or at least they work within the whole Cathedra thing. And, like, you know, he was talking about how, like, instead of sending the Minicus in, they're sending their own people in, the group, I mean. So it's just kind of like, well, it seems like the group isn't really letting the people of Cathedra, or at least Cathedra is an organization, right? And the organization has the Minicus. Anyways, they're not letting the people do it. You know, they're not letting these people fucking do it, so, like, they're doing it themselves, and I guess Lauda is just kind of... I mean, he's supposed to be the CEO and all that, so... He doesn't realize it yet, perhaps. I harvested... 3! Oh, I harvested 3. God, this font and, like, the spacing is just... And then the fact that, not only that, there's a bit of a shadow behind it, too. Goddamn, dude. This future tech shit. This makes it so hard to read sometimes. I've cleared your room. Damn, dude. Good morning, the petunia flowers. I'm studying hard. I help looked after T. I don't know what. I help looked after Tim. We're going to choose a new president. You should be happy you're not going to be a trophy in a dueling game. And then she says, I could care less about the whole trophy shit. Okay. I mean, after she learned about the reason why and all this with her dad and all that. So, Reject or whatever that guy's name, is that who the guy that was explaining to us what was going on? Or not us, but to Miorine, like towards the end of the previous episode? Is that who it is? I literally I don't even know his name. Okay, I've been going through my fucking notes and I've been trying to figure out what is this lady's name, and I guess I've never written it down, so fuck me, I guess, you know? Holy shit, it's just kind of like me never writing down names for Shaddiq and his harem, so I don't even know who the feck any of their names are. Like, I know that we had an episode where we found out that she's the one who was going to take Miorine out to Earth and all that. But I can't figure out where I put it. What episode it's on. What's going on? The only thing that I'm kind of seeing right now in one of my notes is, I think it's the antidote thing, right? After, it was like in episode 9 when Shaddiq and his harem are fighting and they've got the antidote, which is like an anti-Gundam, and we found out later on that the antidote only works with under permit score of 3, right? So if you go above 3, then it just goes right out. And so I'm looking at my notes for this, and there was a part where I wrote, after a talking with Ario, it breaks through the antidote. And so that's like the time when, because like these are during the times when Ario's not as strong. So like when it broke through the antidote, it's reached permit score level 4. And that was when you saw Prospera shedding a little tear for this. So it's just kind of like, okay, why did she do that? And it's because she knows that Eri is getting stronger and stronger as the permit score is going up and up. So that's an interesting tidbit. Jun Feng. Okay, did somebody write any summary for her? No biography or anything. Okay, well at least I got her name now. So like with her before, right? I think we've kind of, or at least what I was thinking initially. I don't even remember if I'm just making this shit up or not, but wasn't she kind of like, sort of like in the middle ground, trying to figure out which side is going to be the better side to be on? But she says that she's the mediator, so seems like she's just kind of. We've got a lot of people who are just whose plans are all intervening with each other. You know, Prospera out here manipulating people and all that, but this right here is the scariest part of all. It's her introducing herself and then pulling a cutesy anime girl move. Stop it, Prospera. You're gonna haunt me in my nightmares for this shit. Alright, so that was episode 16 of The Witch from Mercury, Mobile Suit Gundam. I think that's what it is. Anyways, I've spent 45 minutes fucking writing notes, and I am tired and upset that I've spent this much time. And I'm about to be upset to know the amount of time that I'm gonna be spending talking about this. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this episode in the comments down below. You know that I always like talking to you guys. For me, well, this is quite the fucking packed episode of just stuff happening. And, well, I'm gonna go and talk about the stuff that is happening. Other than the fact that, you know, we're learning now with, like, Eri, since we learned in the prologue that Eri was compatible with Lefrith, and that's why, Elnora, at the time before she became Prospera, was able to get out of that place. Well, I already talked about the whole biometric code and like with the plan of like getting up to the permit score of 8, and if they can expand the range of the data storm and all that. And I was just talking about how it reminded me of Digimon, so I'm gonna leave all that aside for now, and we're gonna move past it. I've got quite a few things that I want to talk about, but I do want to talk about the smaller things and get those out of the way first. The first one has to be with GUEL coming back to the Belmeria group and all that, or just, you know, just to come in to visit Lauda and everything. I find it very fun that Lauda is just out here in a meeting with a bandage over his head. You might be injured, Lauda, but you still need to go to meetings. Why does he have to be there physically if fucking Shaddiq is there via, you know, I was gonna say verbal you know, he's out here on his fucking Zoom call and all that, right? Yeah, I was wondering why he can't just do that in the fucking hospital. Now Lauda had to fucking come out to the meeting. But, we saw GUEL coming and, what is it? It seems like GUEL's got a plan. We don't know what this plan is, but again, it's something that's relating to keeping, not to say the legacy of his father, but to keep that bond between him and his father together. And of course, that's also, I assume, going to be able to help his brother as well, you know, Lauda and all that. I love that whole spiel of GUEL coming to visit them, and Lauda just got so excited that his brother is back that he just fainted. And then they took him to the hospital. Oh, that is so fun, dude. That's so fucking great. And then the other thing is with Nika, who is more injured than ever. She's already got a broken arm, and now she's got her other arm bandaged up, and she's got two little band-aid on her cheeks and everything. And it's so fun. There's just something so funny about her being bandaged up and then her saying, I don't want to act like a victim anymore. And I'm just like, you know, at some point, you don't have to act like a victim. You just look like one. But, you know, Nika's storyline continues, but she did get a recruitment opportunity from Sabina, who I just remembered her name now. She's got the recruitment opportunity and just basically like, hey, if you come and work with us, you can continue your study elsewhere. You know, you don't have to go back to the school and all that. But since Nika decided that she doesn't want to act like a victim anymore and she wants to continue with her plan of doing stuff, you know, she can't leave. So we can only assume that she's going to attempt to run away again. So we'll have to see what Nika's going to do and if she's gonna get beat up for it again. Gotta say, props to her for not giving up. You know, she's really taking Suletta's words, well, technically it's Prospera's words, but, you know, she's really taking it to heart right now. We'll see how far that'll get her, if she's gonna break her fucking leg or something at this point, you know? You can't leave if both your legs are broken, am I right? But somebody in the comments did wonder, like, why is it that Shaddiq's harem is so loyal to him, you know? What is he offering to them that they're continuing with his plans? And so we're getting to see from Sabina, right, that she is an Earthian until the Grassly took her in. And Sabina at this point has kind of been acting like the leader of the harem. So it kind of makes me wonder if that whole idea of her trickles down to the other girls, you know? It would actually make it an understandable thing if Shaddiq has just been picking up Earthian girls. You know, and giving them a better life and all that, and giving them a new identity, I assume, as like Spatians, so then they don't get discriminated. You know, if that's the whole case, it's understandable why they have such a loyalty to him, especially with what Sabina said, that she's willing to follow Shaddiq's plans. And also, ideals alone can't change reality. This is just them again telling Nika to just fucking shove off with your stupid fucking ideals that we can solve this peacefully. Anyways, she says Shaddiq and I will make it happen. The dream of bridging Earth and space. So going with the assumption that perhaps the other girls in his harem are also Earthians, and what I just said before, and with this idea of bridging Earth and space, it's kind of understandable that they're able to follow him even to this point of, you know, kidnapping his dad or getting terrorists to fuck people up and killing our poor Jubaju, not the Jubaju man, the poor lad. But continuing with Sabina, going to Shaddiq, essentially his harem, talking about everything's all's according to Keikaku, because with the news catching on with the... God, I've written so many notes, I don't know where everything is, I'm just zooming up and down. With the news of the terrorist attack on both Plant Keta and the school, and learning about the Dawn of Fode, which I need to write that down just in case, but at some point I'm just gonna call them the Resistance. Yeah, with that news coming out, and then with the news that Vim Jaturk is dead, Zanelli is missing, and, not the news, but, you know, the whole thing of, like, and also Dellen's critically injured, so he can't really take up his throne as the president anymore. One of the crazy ladies from Pale Tech says that it's time for a new president, so... they're gonna have an election, which is always fun. We gotta have we gotta have more politics into this whole spiel. As they say, it's all according to Shaddiq's plan, and that he intends to run for president. And so he's like, I don't intend on missing this, and then one of them mentions, like, isn't Miorine gonna take over for the president? And Shaddiq is just like, blood won't be enough, but... what if somebody supports her? What if one of the big three groups supports her? She might be able to, before Sabina comes in and is just like, alright fam, give up on your dream. You know, give up on your fucking dream on becoming her partner and all that. We've already dealt with this in like episodes 7 and 8, 6 to 8, somewhere around there. So, yeah, we'll have to see what's going on with that, and of course, with the news of that Lauda had given to Miorine as well, you know, the fact that they're looking for a new president, and then of course with Prospera getting her to be the president and wanting her to be the president and all that, I guess we're gonna have an election coming. Oh, that's gonna be fun, an election where Miorine is running against Shaddiq. So, we'll just have to see. But, let me figure out if there's any other small things that I haven't said. Okay, there really isn't. So, I'm going to now talk about Belmeria. I figured out it's actually Belmeria now, not Belmeria. So, in the beginning, other than the whole spiel of Prospera talking about how she basically put her daughter into a Gundam in order to get her to continue to live because her body can't take the space. Space is just too strong. We learned that Belmeria is the creator of enhanced humans, or at the very least, she's the one who came up with the neural expansion theory. And that this was something that Dr. Cardo was against. You know, she refused to accept this whole thing. And so it's just Prospera going for the Uno reverse card. I think this is the first in this episode that she uses the Uno reverse card on, right? Because Belmeria is just like, you can't be doing this. This is not for the Vanidus institution and all that. And so Belmeria refuses to help, and she says that, you know, these aren't the principles of the Vanidus Institute. Prospera, again, uses the Uno reverse card, and she just says, no, you. And it was a fucking critical attack on Belmeria, because, again, she's the one who started this whole enhanced human stuff. Of course, as we can see, that she's very much is regretting this whole fact, and we can kind of see that she was a little bit happier knowing with the Gunarm Inc. that they are using the Gundam as a means, as what Dr. Cardo wanted in the first place. Instead of using it as a tool of war or to kill, it's going to be used for medical purposes. And this leads us to the next scene that we see her, as she's feeling more and more remorse and self-pity, essentially. And it's just so funny when she was doing this. Again, as I was thinking in the reaction, I was just like, is Alon just gonna fucking punch her in the face? Like, this looks like, I don't know why, it looked like an optimal scene for her to get punched. And so that's exactly what she did, you know, as she's doing all this, like, self-pity, and she's just like, I had to do this. Peltech took me in, and I just had to do this whole shit. And then he just backhanded her. He just straight up and just said, fuck you, lady. You're out here self-pitying right now, but you're the one who put me into this whole thing, right? If you hadn't brought up this whole human experiment of, like, enhanced humans, I wouldn't have had to go through this, you know, I wouldn't have to give up my identity, and now I'm over here trying to fucking survive by doing these people's biddings, even though I don't appreciate it. And you're over here self-pitying yourself right now, even though you're the creator? Like, fuck you. Which, again, well, not again, but it's a very understandable reaction coming from Elan, or Elan number 5. And speaking of Elan, he is a bit in hot water right now, because with Elan coming in and now having his new plan, or his new task of stealing Ariel yet again. Well, Elan number 4, that was his job as well. But he's a bit in hot water because they're disappointed in his performance, his lackadaisio, whatever that was, whatever that word was. He was lacking in his performance, and they didn't appreciate that. And so Elan number 5 is quite upset over that. And of course, when he comes in, and he tries to steal Ariel, as we saw back in not season 1. Well, I mean, the first core. That was before Ariel even reached, I would assume, went past permit level 4. Because I was mentioning about how, like, during the fight with Shaddiq and how they were using the antidote, the anti-Gundam. That in order, and then we learned after that you have to go past level 3 in order to get past the antidote. So, like, even before that, we weren't really hitting permit level 4. So, and when they did, you know, that's when Prospera shed a tear and all that. So even before that, you know, it's like this was back in episode 4 or 5 or something with Elan, and that's why Elan was able to put his phone on and able to pilot Ariel, because Ariel just wasn't on that level of connection yet, you know. She wasn't level 4 back then. And so I think back in like episode 12 or something, when Prospera was talking to Dylan, she said that they had reached level 5 or level 6, somewhere around there. That's why we know that Suletta has been able to talk more to Ariel. But it's nice to see, essentially, we're having like the same scene again of Elan getting into Ariel, but this time it's not working because Ariel has a much stronger level, a much stronger connection. You know, he's unable to link to Ariel. And unlike number 4, who is only able to see the small glimpses, you know, blurred visions of a figure, you know, he didn't even know who it was. But here is this Elan coming in, and he's able to see Eri fully. Eri and her gang, I guess. And her gang of children who are just floating around in the data storm. Oh yeah, so Elan did say, like, the data storm, why is it suddenly like this? And then he sees this and he thinks that's Suletta, because of course they look like each other. And of course we've got their gun bits, which are all... But yeah, this is the first time, I think, that we've actually hear Eri's voice. And just her essentially kicking him out because you can't be here. You're not Suletta, you can't be on this fucking pilot seat. So this was just an interesting contrast to the previous scene that we saw of Elan trying to steal Ariel. Which, I really like that, you know, at first he's just like, Suletta, well, what the hell's going on? And he's just like, wait, no, who are you people? Right? Before Eri just comes and poke him I was gonna say poke him in his forehead, but he's wearing a helmet. As he goes and says, who are you people? Who are these other people? Which goes back to that theory that, you know, I would say I don't want to think about, but we've already had the confirmation of it. That, you know, that there has been other experiments of people who are supposed to be like Suletta, you know, kind of like that, because we still don't really know the backstory of Suletta. The only sort of backstory that we've got from her is through the Cradle world, or the Cradle planet. So it's an interesting thing. And after he got upset and just backhanded the shit out of Belmeria, right? I just had to see it again. With him being upset, you know, he's gonna report Belmeria, so we'll just have to see what Peltech are going to do to Belmeria, because I mean, he's just fucking pissed. He's just upset. He's just like, whoa, you're all fucking pitying yourself and now you won't help me with this whole Ariel shit? Fuck you. If I could get their ire, Peltex's ire, onto you instead, then they won't think about me and trying to get rid of me, right? So he's in a dog-eat-dog world and he just wants to survive. So it's an understandable thing on why he's decided that he's gonna tell on Belmeria. So going to Earth House and seeing the discrimination that they're going through. I mean, they've already been discriminated against, but after the terrorist attack, and of course it's by Earthians, they're going to get discriminated even more. Which is just so funny, because like they've just got these Spatians out here, right? Wait, hold on. They're always suspicious of of us Earthians, that's all. Yeah, but even so, why'd they'd have to confiscate Aereo and my Demi? Okay. So we've got these Earthians who's just out here spray painting. Yeah, that will fucking show these terrorists. We've got Earth House getting discriminated against, and we've got Martin, who was standing up because, as he said, he is the house of the Earth House. He's the head of the Earth House, and so he's standing up for everybody because he wants to protect these people, which again is definitely not a flag at all, hopefully. And well, the one flag is that he gets injured with a spray can. A fucking spray can to the head, bro. Fucking scratched his head that's made out of paper mache, I guess. And also with this guy going and talking about like witches, right, who made the Gundam pilots, who took pilots' lives with their experiment and all that. You took lives too in the Rumble Ring. So this is just them being upset and essentially blaming an entire group of people for one individual's action, right? And of course, poor Jubaju, not him, this poor man. Or sorry, this poor boy who died via laser to the face. Oh man. So he says, give us back to Jubaju, murderers. And here's Martin coming in to save Suletta. And of course, we've got the return of Miorine, who has caught this all in 4K. 4K high def. Look at her. Goddamn, dude. I haven't mentioned this before, but these future phones, they have such ugly UIs. It's disgusting. Anyways, with the return of Miorine, she goes and calls Jun Feng for a favor, and she finds out that Nika is not with the front management, and she wants to confirm the departure list, you know, just to figure out where the fuck Nika is at this point. Since she wants to get that confirmed, Feng wants to get a favor for favor, and she wants to be able to get in and out of the Gundam the Gundam arm ink freely. And it's an interesting thing because like she wants to investigate the Shinsei Development Corporation, which at first I was just kind of like, huh, why does that name sound familiar? And I forgot that this is Prospera's group, right? So she essentially wants to investigate Prospera. Because, as she says, it's odd that a low-level corps would be able to get their Gundam repaired because the costs were excessive and they've got they were a lot of equipments were sent to Plant Keta. If this company is like bottom rank, like how are they able to do it? And so the guy suggests like maybe the group is intervening somehow. And Feng says an interesting thing where she says, even if it requires groundless accusations, the higher-ups plan to forcibly intervene in the Benneric group. And I'm still not super sure who Feng works for. Again, if I just can't find if I've written notes about her. I've been looking through all the pages and I just can't find notes that I've written about her, and I just don't know when was the last time we saw her. But yeah, I don't know who she's working for exactly, but she says the higher-ups plans to forcibly intervene with the Benneric group, so like we're having yet another fucking group that I don't know who they are, what do they do, but that's what they plan on doing, and it seems like Feng's group is the mediator, so like she wants to be able to prevent all this whole stuff from happening in the first place. So we'll just have to see what's going on there. Dude, Prospera just wants to get her vengeance plot going and all that, but we've got all these other people's plans coming in. God damn it, dude. So with that, Miorine's back on this, and I like that Choo Choo is just like, we couldn't find anything else on our own, so, you know, thank you. Yeah, it's very nice. It's also pretty nice to know that in this dire moment of Earth House, here is a Spatian who is coming in. I mean, she's already been doing this, but here comes a Spatian who is willing to help them and getting them the information that they need, information that they'd never be able to get on their own as Earthians. So it's very nice. And then, of course, now that Miorine's back, we've got work to do. Let's fucking go, you know? Oh man, so many fucking work. Your fucking tea time's over. With Suletta, she wanted to get Miorine to check her greenhouse because that's the most important thing of all. You know, business can wait. I gotta check on my tomatoes. And so she's still, at this point, you know, Suletta still feels very awkward because she feels like Miorine is gonna be mad at her for the whole situation of her squishing a man. And then we see Prospera, who, of course, came here to see Ariel. She's not exactly here to see... She's not exactly here to see, Suletta. I mean, she is here to see Suletta, but she's also kind of like, I haven't seen you since the incident. Anyways, whatever, I'm gonna be off on my own now. Like, thanks, Prospera. Of course, you know, she uses the excuse of, well, Miorine invited you out first, right? So, don't want you to, which is also an interesting aspect that Suletta was going to follow Miorine, but then the moment her mom came in, she's just like, whatever, Miorine, I'm gonna take my mom out first. So we can kind of see that bond between her, whether it's good or bad. You know, we can see that bond and how tight it is with each other when it's compared to Miorine. In my notes, I wrote Prospera comes to visit Suletta, and then under that, I just wrote, she's probably here to manipulate more kids. I mean, why did she come here specifically to introduce herself to Earth House? You know, what is she doing there other than to check up on the gun arm ink and all that? Well, we'll just have to see what's going on there, since, you know, we skipped all that. We've got to go and follow Suletta and Miorine at the greenhouse. And so Suletta is, you know, worried that Miorine's mad at her, and Miorine says that she's not mad at Suletta. Instead, you know, she wished she could have thanked her, because she did save her and her father's life, and she feels bad that the first thing that she said to Suletta was, you know, you're a fucking monster. But little did she know, she fell right into Prospera's trap, dude. Prospera was laying out a fucking trap card since, like, I don't know, since, like, the first episode of Core 2. Now, finally... Well, finally, she turned it over, like, fucking got it. With Miorine going and saying that she's not mad at Suletta, Suletta says, I knew my mom was right, that I did the right thing. This is some good shit, you know, my mom is always right. She told me that you weren't going to be mad at me anymore, and that you're gonna finally understand what I've done was the only way, you know? So my mom, as always, is fucking right, and that means that my loyalty towards her, it has been strengthened even more. So, again, congrats, Miorine, you fell into her trap card. And of course, we have Miorine, who gets upset at Suletta, and she just straight up and tells Suletta, like, what the fuck are you talking about? How can you smile like this when you've just killed a man? You know, you should at the very least feel a little remorseful. You know, it's like, the more response that Miorine was expecting probably was the fact that, was probably like, hey, maybe I did save your life and all, but what I did to that man was a little excessive, you know? But no, here is Suletta, who's just like, yeah, I did the right thing. I did it. I fucking squashed that man. And it's very interesting to see Miorine poking more into Suletta and asking her, like, hey, will you do anything your mom tells you to? And Suletta at first is just like, I don't know about anything. And so, of course, Miorine pokes and said, if she told you to give up to give up your dreams of opening a school in Mercury, would you do that? Well, I'd be a little upset, but, you know, I'd be a little sad, but yeah, I'd still do it. And of course, here's Miorine saying, if she told you to murder someone, if she told you to kill someone, would you do it? And of course, Suletta says she would, yes. And so, What do you mean you said that you don't know if you'd do anything? You would do anything for your mother, right? She's like, I wouldn't say anything, but here she is saying that she's going to commit murder for her mom. And, well, I mean, as I said, like, in episode 12 or something, at this point with her, you know, crushing this man, this is when Prospera has released this inhibitor that's inside Suletta, and that she's going to do anything that her mom wants her to do. And I find that a little sad because as I wonder whether Prospera actually loves her daughter or not, or loves Suletta or not. We have been seeing her more and more focused on Ariel, more on Eri instead of Suletta. So, like, if this whole plan gets finished, you know, they reach level 8 of the permit score, they expand the data storm through Quiet Zero, and Eri can be free, will Prospera care about Suletta? Will she care about Suletta then? Or is Suletta's usefulness gone at that point, and now Prospera can finally be with her actual daughter, right? I don't know. But during this whole conversation, of course, we've got the whole tomato motive again, which was something that was shown back with Shaddiq, I believe, when Miorine was cutting the tomatoes and, like, she was cutting out, like, a bad tomato. I assume that's what people were saying. I don't know much about tomatoes. Or at least the fucking life of a tomato anyways. But, you know, I remember people were talking about how, like, she was cutting off the tomato, just like how she's cutting Shaddiq out of her life. And so here we have this, as she's trying to argue with Suletta, here we have a reflection of Miorine in a red and ripe tomato. And while we have Suletta, who is a green and unripe tomato, essentially. I don't know if it's a bad tomato or not. I don't know what is a bad and a poisoned tomato. Anyways, so it's an interesting thing because we see that this is how their progress has been, right? We see that Miorine throughout the entire series, she has been growing. And she's been growing because of Suletta. You know, Suletta was the person who kept her, who allowed her to grow, who kept her from running away from her problems and instead to face it directly. Meanwhile, we have Suletta, who after episode 12, it's not ripe. She's not growing, and in fact, it's stagnant. She's staying in this place because of Prospera. You know, and she's not really growing because of Miorine either. So it will be interesting to see how Miorine will be able to get Suletta out of this, I guess it is kind of like a rut, you know, to see how she's able to get herself out of that. God, my brain is fried. How Miorine will get Suletta out of that. There you go. And so in the final scene, we have Miorine confronting Prospera, because why wouldn't she? She's fucking upset that, hey, you're literally using your daughter like a puppet. And Prospera uses her second Uno reverse card, where she's just like, what about you? Aren't you also trying to use her as a puppet? It's so good, the amount of Uno reverse card that she's been tossing at people. Of course, her third and final her third and final Uno card is her saying, also Rajan is the guy that she was talking to in the previous episode. I figured that one out. So her saying, this is what Prospera says. Actually, not this whole part. Whatever, who cares? So she says, you accuse Suletta of being a murderer, but you're in the same position. What the fuck is this Uno reverse card? She just says, no, you. And it's been fucking working this whole time, I swear. It's just really getting under people's skin and all that. This is the whole feeling of just kind of like with the Spatians being even more discriminatory towards the Earth House now that the whole terrorist attack has happened, right? The sin of one person in this specific group is the sin of the entire group. And this is what Prospera is laying onto Miorine. Hey, your dad killed all of my friends and family, you know, my husband and everything, my teacher, my mentor, and because he did that, it means that that's your fault as well. You're also a murderer. I mean, sure, I guess. You know, despite the fact that she was never a part of this, she never knew about this, and she was born after the incident. So, like, you know, when a kid is born, they're innocent of everything because they have not started anything. So, like, Prospera is saying that Miorine's sin is being born. You know, so it's and so as we know in the previous episodes and how she was just tossing out multiple fucking cards, you know, she tried out the dad card, it didn't work. She tried out the mom card because she's still trying to get Miorine to work on Quiet Zero. But now with Suletta coming in, sorry, why do I keep saying Suletta? Miorine in can you believe the amount of Yuri fans who are just going to take this part out of context? Anyways, we have Miorine, you know, saying, if you want revenge, why don't you adults kill each other, but leave Suletta out of your vengeance? And of course, this is giving Prospera yet another tool, since she's like, well, since the dad and the mom card isn't working, and since you're so caring, you know, you are, what she said, you're quite an admirable bride, will you cooperate with me then? You know, if it's for Suletta then. So, you know, Miorine, you must become the next president. If you don't want Suletta to be involved, how about you get involved yourself and finally do what the fuck I want you to do? Come on, Miorine. Holy shit, dude. Yeah, I would assume this is Miorine will try and do it, but at the same time, she did struck a deal with Feng, where Feng wants to investigate Prospera's company, and that she wants the information relayed back to her. So whether Miorine decides that she's going to partake in this, since maybe if she can become president, she doesn't have to fucking do what Prospera says, especially if she gathers information on Prospera and to out her or whatever. You know, we'll just have to see, because right now with the whole Quiet Zero stuff, it's really just I mean, she learned that the whole thing is that Dylan wants to use it for something, for good, for something, to relieve himself of his sin and all that. But if it finished, it goes through with Prospera's plan, which is letting Eri be free and rewriting the world and all that. So, is she going to, I don't know where that sentence was going, but just know that there's just a lot of plans going, you know, and everybody's plans are intervening with each other, because of course it is. So, I assume that Miorine might consider becoming the next president, and she's gonna go on an election against Shaddiq, which is going to be fantastic and fun. And, yeah, that's really it. I'm glad that didn't take me forever to talk about, but I think that really is it. I've talked all I can about this episode. Jesus Christ, just imagine all the information that's just jam-packed into 23 minutes. Well, thank you guys for being here, and I appreciate you guys if you are right at this part right here, unless you somehow skipped to the ending for some reason. Why are you here? But if I have anything else to say, I will write it in the description down below. Thank you guys for sticking around, and I will see you guys in the next episode.